So I saw the Dunkirk movie. This review, I guess, of this movie, there's gonna be a lot of spoilers, my friend. There will be a lot. The reason I'm reviewing this, I didn't expect to do this video at all. The reason I'm reviewing this is because this is my all-time favorite movie. I was freaking shooketh to the core, to the freaking core of the earth, and myself shook by this movie. So, the whole world seems to know that Harry Styles' first movie is Dunkirk. So early on, like last sometime where I wasn't in school, that's all I remember, I looked up Harry Styles while he was on his break, and I'm like, oh, interesting, he's gonna be in a movie. And I was like, I'm gonna see that movie, you know? When you're a directioner, or you just like Harry Styles or any of the members, you just kind of want to like support them in whatever they do. Hence the movie. Like, a bunch of directioners are gonna see the movie because, you know, it's like your baby, you know? Your baby kind of growing up and becoming his own man. He not even a baby, he older than me, my friend. I know it don't look like it, but he is, and he's living his life, and he's succeeding. He's freaking finessing everything. So naturally, I didn't know what the movie was. There was no trailer, there was nothing much about it. It was just like, he's in a movie. And I was like, oh, I'm gonna see that. So time passes, and then I found out the movie's called Dunkirk. I'm like, oh great, I'm gonna buy tickets when it comes out. Didn't think much about it. I was like, supporting my man Harry, Harold Edward Styles, that one. And so originally I was brought to it because of Harry, I'm not gonna lie to you. A few more, like a little more time passed, and I actually saw the trailer. Yeah, I saw it. Wasn't even planning on it. Kind of hit me by surprise. I was in the movie theater with my friend, and it was like Dunkirk, burnt, you know, like the trailer, it just did the trailer, it just did its thing, and I was like, oh god, this is the one with Harry in it too, right? So I was like, oh, this is gonna hurt me more in my feelings than I was expecting it to. So it did, basically. More came out, more interviews, more trailer time, everything. Kind of, it just became more, and it kind of built up. And yes, my god. The thing with war movies is, I personally, they're probably one of my favorite movies, and I'm like, I suck at history, but I really like war movies for some reason. The reason I don't watch it that much is because, sorry, my bunny is on the floor, if you can hear that, I apologize. Okay. But the thing with me and war movies is that I usually don't watch them just because they're kind of like emotionally kind of like, okay, like, why did we have war? And I kind of get mad at the fact that there's so much hate that we had to like fight with other countries. Like, there's so much bad stuff that we had to fight with each other. So I get really like saddened kind of by war movies, so I just don't watch that many. But they're like my favorite type of movies, which is weird. I found out that Christopher Nolan directed it. Honestly, I haven't watched any movies from Christopher Nolan because I have this gap of like not watching movies in my life, and I don't know why. I haven't watched any of his previous movies as far as I know. That's gonna change. Okay, so I was sitting there with my friend and my mom and my friend's sister, and we were watching the movie. It starts, right? Lights went down, movie began. Oh my god, it just started, it was just already action. Like, we went straight into it. They had the main character. I don't think any of them have names except for one. Or I wasn't paying attention if they actually did have names. But the main character, we just starts off, and he goes and he's in with a group of people, and then straight off the bat, like, they just get shot. They gone for the rest of the movie. That's like 5 people got paid their $5 and now they're good, and they did great and they're dying. That was over. So you already start with like boom, action. You're intrigued. He got your attention. Christopher Nolan, yes, he knows what he's doing. He was in some bad territory. I'm assuming that's why he was getting shot at, him and his group, and he was like the only survivor. He went with the French, although, you know, English and French allies, they don't like each other, so they were like, okay, come here and go somewhere else, like, bye. So he just went and he found his other English people on the beach, and they were all trying to get out of Dunkirk. On the way, he was about to take a dump. Very good touch on the movie, because you just don't expect to see that in a movie. Great. And well, we didn't see anything, by the way. And there was a guy burying a body, and he switched coats. So he had the English coat on, but he wasn't English, from England. But we don't know at this point where he's from. Then the story continues. They're trying to get out, and basically Germany just keeps like sending bombs and killing a lot of people, so they would just have to go back on shore and just try to survive. So they would send more boats, try to survive, send more boats, try to survive. And we have like these 3 point of views, right? A little boat, like a little vacation boat, one they just sail in the sea, usually was going out to Dunkirk so they can bring some people back to England. The second one was a pilot, also going to protect them from all these planes that kept on shooting their ships. So they were sending the Air Force, and so we had one of the characters, it was 3 planes, they were going out there. And then they had the other point of view, which is the one we started with, is where they're already in Dunkirk and trying to escape. So they have a few scenes in the movie. I'm not gonna like tell the whole story because you need to see the movie. There's just like a few scenes that really stuck out to me. One was when they were like really losing hope. They just had a random guy, we didn't know him or anything. He just went into the water and he just jumped in and drowned himself. Like he literally gave up hope, and not only him but everybody. They had this scene where they had the boat coming out and it was leaving the port. They were leaving, they had their bread, they were kind of just like, okay, we just have to go back to England and do whatever they need to do. And they had, I think, a torpedo that just hit the ship, and there we go, and the ship was gone. And in the room they were in, it was like locked, because that's just how they were at the time. And the guy that we didn't know, who's not English, was out while all the English soldiers were in there, and he was out just kind of like thinking about what he was doing, and I think he was just contemplating a lot of things. And so he was outside of the ship, and they got hit, and everybody was stuck in that room. The ship started like tilting, and they had water coming in, and literally they were just drowning in this room, and so many were trying to unlock it, but they were already like this. It was almost impossible. And then the guy, we don't know where he's from yet, opens it, and then they all like come falling out and they go back to shore. And that, it was such a freaking emotional, like I can't describe it, how good of a scene this was. It was such an emotional scene, and you just felt it, and you felt all these characters and everything. Like, oh my god, you just saw like how helpless they seemed, and like they kept trying, and then it just like stopped. Like I was brought to tears. I was almost crying 4 times in this movie. I don't want to tell, I've never done like a movie review. I don't want to tell too much of the story. It's just like, it's such a good story. Something I wanted to mention was they had, since the very like first scene, this ticking. It was ticking and ticking and ticking, very subtle in the background, but it was happening the whole time. That was telling you that just time kept passing, rushing everything. Like everything needed to be done, and it's just not being done. It's kind of like the ticking feel of what I was feeling. Around the end of the movie, they had actual like ships that came by, and they were back in England, they were on the train, and while he was boarding the train, Harry's character Alex, a butthole by the way, there's you'll see why when you see the movie. Like you're not meant to like his character. He's real tough, and like, you know, you're just not supposed to like him. Oh my god, but Harry's acting, like this being his first movie, it's just weird because I like usually don't notice when you see like a pop star going to movies, so this was like a whole different thing for me. But like, where did he learn how to act? There was a scene where I was just like so surprised, and this whole movie, like I know I originally heard of it because of Harry, but I forgot Harry was in it. Like, it was such a beautifully made movie. All the angles, all the scenes, even like the color grading was so great and like beautiful, and it just fit so well, and you just felt every single character, and you felt every death, and there were so many deaths, and you just felt all of it, and how like you just felt the hope leaving. And then they had so many like panic scenes, and like your like stomach went into a knot, like you didn't know how to feel, and all you can do is just sit there and watch the movie. And I think Christopher Nolan, he was just a genius in the way that he made this movie. Like, I don't know how his brain even thought of this, like how did he make such a great movie? I don't freaking have a clue. Anyways, they were brought back to England, and at the end there was a guy handing out towels, and he was looking down the whole time, and it was ticking and it was ticking, it was ticking, everything. It was like a very subtle tick. They had the main character, who was like the nice guy, the guy you like, and then they had Alex. So Alex was the first one walking into the train, and the guy was looking down, and he said congrats, and then Alex looked back and he was like, for what? We only survived, or something like that. And he was like, that's enough. And then Alex just kept walking in the train, and then the main character, he got his towel, and then the guy who was looking down, who was handing the towels, and said that that's good that you like survived, felt his face, meaning he was blind. And then after, when they were in the train, Alex said that dumb guy couldn't even look me in the eye to say congrats or whatever, and he was just, you know, like, they knew completely like two different things, and that's when the ticking stopped, like as soon as he said that. And that, like, I don't know, like I feel like I should know what that means, but I don't. And this whole movie just kept me freaking alive. Guys, I don't know how to review movies. I just wanted to tell you basically that I love this movie. See this movie. There's so many scenes that I can't even like explain to you well enough. Like I can't, you have to see it. It's such a work of art. I've never felt so many things from a movie ever in my life. I was sitting there shaking for the last 30 minutes of the movie. I'm not exaggerating. Like my body was exaggerating at the time, but I'm not exaggerating. I was literally shaking. My hands were shaking. My legs were shaking. I was just like, I just couldn't stop. There's so many scenes that I haven't even talked about that were such amazing scenes. I want to like rant about how beautiful this movie is and how much you really need to see this. Like his mind is such a beautiful thing. I have no, there's so much. Okay, here's my like review of this movie. I've never done a review. I just wanted to rant to you of how beautiful this movie was. See it. It is so freaking good. Like, I literally can't. Love you guys, see you next video. I'm still, like, I'm shook from this movie. I can't explain. I just wanted to tell you how this made me feel. And I can't even put in words how this movie made me feel, so. Love you guys, see you next video.